Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. It seems that the motorists and the cyclists are having a hard time mixing on the roadways as the trains and the cars had. You know, for a period of time, it would seem to, for the most part, work through that with the trains and the cars out there. It is so true that there are many motorists that are non-attentive or unattended, and there's some cyclists also that simply don't pay attention to what they're doing out there. Clearly, the cyclists, from a state law standpoint, they have the same responsibility on the road as any motorist, you know. And some cyclists simply don't understand it, or they choose to disregard that. All the cases you cited, they have been investigated, and sometimes warrant, you know, further action, citations, and other times that they simply don't do that. But I think that what you're proposing, that something be done in addition to what we're doing now. We're simply at that point in our city, and I concur with that statement. Given that you are involved in cycling perhaps more so than many of us are, let me premise this by saying this. I'm not one to boast for regulations or new fees, or et cetera. I tend not to support that, but health and safety regulations are important, and that is our business here in chief. Do you believe that some type of regulation in the way of registration in the way of bicycles? There are thousands and thousands of bicycles on the streets of Houston, and no one knows who owns those bikes, or should they be on the streets, or et cetera. Do you believe there's some registration process for bicycles? And I'm talking about a nominal fee, $1, $2, $5, something like that. Just a nominal fee, because I'm not after the money. I'm after a process to help identify bicycles, and a training program that would include training, education, and awareness blitz. My point in short to you is, my question in short is, how do we reach out to those thousands of cyclists out there and get their attention for an awareness blitz concerning what they should be doing on the road, and also let them know there are things that they can do to elevate their safety out there?
Any registration processes that raises awareness, raises education, raises their ability to have a properly maintained bike with a light in the front, the back, 100% for.
Motion to extend, please. Thank you. Again, I don't want to be perceived at all as Bradford saying, let's charge a fee for cyclists. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that if we can do things at the Texas State Legislature level to increase the awareness of motorists concerning what cyclists are doing on the road, how do we reach out and identify those cyclists? Because I see a lot of cyclists out there on the roadway with their bicycles, and I like to talk to them too. But there's some process where they have to come in and pay $1 or $5 to register that bicycle. It's a twofold process. One, we can give you a pamphlet, a leaflet, or you have to sign a statement that you've watched a certain video that's online that we can put up at no cost. And at the same time, if your cycle is stolen, which thousands are stolen in Houston each year, we can help return those bicycles to the proper owners. So what's your take on this?
I think the city of Houston had a bicycle registration program back in, I think it phased out in like 2006 or maybe even before that. There were some difficulties around it, but obviously all the kids that ride bikes and everything else, there needs to be some intelligent wording of who needs to get their bike registered, what needs to be in there, a little thought into it versus just, okay, every bike needs to be registered. That's not practical.
Sure, we have to use that to think through it, and we did have a voluntary registration program, and I don't want to require a 8-year-old child have to be able to register a bike, because I don't think the children are the problem. That's not what's bringing you here today, for the most part. I think for the most part, we're talking about adults that ride bicycles at a certain time of day, etc. But I think if we were to work through it and think through it and come up with a process where we're not putting any type of undue burden on children.
From my standpoint, the cycling community is getting more aware about trying to figure out who's getting hit and who are these people that are involved in these accidents, and there's more experienced cycling people that know the ride with lights, you know, people that know where to go on the side of the road, and I'd say right now it's about 50-50. It's about 50% responsible cyclists are getting hit, and then the other 50% that don't have the lights, that need education are probably the other half. So, you know, it used to be the people that had ridden smartly, they weren't getting hit.
You know, because
They weren't part of the statistics. They are part of the statistics now.
sure, it's getting a little worse.
This is getting worse. You know, and anything to raise bicyclists' awareness and drivers' awareness is a step in the right direction.
Okay. Because it's really easy to go out, you know, and write, you know, that 14,000 takes, that's easy to do, but that will, I think, help deal with one side of the problem. But again, I want some process so we can get a process where we can identify the bicycles out there and attach the bicycle to someone and maybe, again, have awareness of this. I think it's what we need. But too many cyclists are just disregarding the rules of the road, and motorists are just woefully unattended out on the road to them. So it's dangerous.
Everyone needs to be held accountable.
Thank you.
Councilman Lapp.
Mr. Morgan, thanks for coming down. Mayor, can you remind us or re-educate us as we move towards a complete streets model? Are we including dedicated bike lanes with those concrete curbs that separate the bike lane from the general traffic? Is that part of the discussion point, or can we add that to the model?
Complete Streets doesn't define what each individual street looks like. It just provides a suite of options, and that it mandates that all users of the street be considered when you design the street. And so yes, having a separate bicycle curb lane is one of the options available. Doesn't mean it would happen in
I think I saw in London when I was there last year, dedicated lanes that had that concrete, small, lower curb barrier that did offer some sort of definitive area for the bike to be in, and at least a modest amount of protection. So I would hope that maybe we could consider that at least in some of our thoroughfares.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Even those inexpensive plastic cones that I like, that aren't, you know, the Katy Toll Road, those are very effective. You just need to have something, a simple barrier. It doesn't have to be a brick wall or anything else. Just a simple divider.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Boykins.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Morgan, I too cycle, and I want you to know I respect what you do. It's another avenue to try to make our bodies and get us healthy. I'm hearing the comments, and I've spent quite a bit of money, saved up a few coins to purchase my bike. I have a lot of different outfits. And I'm saying all that to say we put a lot of investment and time and money into these bikes. As much respect I have for my colleague, I don't think we should be penalized $1.50 to ride this city, these streets, in order, from a health. Motion to extend. Second. Yeah, from a,
Favor, opposed, motion carries.
from a healthy perspective. But I'm saying that to say, even though I respect his comment, I'm saying that to say, I was talking to Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez about the complete street, the same question last year had, complete street concept. And as we start reconstructing these new streets going forward, it would be nice. It would be nice to have a lane dedicated to cyclists. I was riding down Alameda with reflectors going, and there's a young kid on the bike. It can happen to anybody. A young kid in the car on the telephone almost ran smack over me. It happens, and you know that, and I know that. And I just think until people get engaged into riding bikes, I had no idea until I started riding a couple of years ago how scary it is. And we shouldn't have to be in fear of riding a bike to improve our health. So I just, I commend you. I look forward to working with you and Councilman Bradford and others to see how we can make this better for all. But I just don't think we should be looked upon in any other way than trying to keep our bodies healthy. Safety is very important, very important. And when you damage a bike, man, it costs a lot of money to get it repaired. So I commend you for what you're doing, and look forward to see what we can do to work with you.
I have 8 bicycles and I've been riding for 25 years. And I've had probably a half a dozen personal close friends of mine that have been killed over the years. It's a very personal thing for me.
Councilmember Robinson.
Mr. Morgan, thanks for coming down here today, and we're we're with you. I'm sure I can speak with my colleagues in our mutual desire. All of us feel that we need to do something about this. I think among those who have spoken, I think Councilmember Gonzalez has been hard at work on the Complete Streets package. You've been active in the community. You understand some of the best practices and the standards and the details that we need to look at. What I'm going to ask is that Public Works and the Planning Department help me understand, as an architect and a practitioner, what we have now in the way of the latest and the current bike trail package. In terms of a plan, a document that shows the linkage, it might be helpful, once again, for some of us newer council members to understand where we are with the infrastructure of roads, the paths, and the bikeways that are being recommended by our city, where we're working. I know as the Bike Greenways Initiative is meant to link a number of the unmet connections in our path. We need to understand how we're working on those things, again, for this educational component of our responsibility to help people know where they can ride safely. I'll say that I'm convinced about the need for a fee and registration, but I'm certainly open to hearing discussion about that. I know there's been a number of things in the news lately with the critical mass ride going on Friday. I think this weekend will provide yet another test for our public safety leadership and the city's policy. So I'm with you in trying to think about how we can educate both riders and city officials in what we need to do. I think it was yesterday that the Houston Chronicles cartoonist Nick Anderson illustrated the situation with a car with targets on the back, strikes, and it's a horrible state of affairs in Houston when our great state is famous for driving friendly, and somehow that educational campaign you'd think could expand to ride safely. I think the last comment I might make to my colleague from Spring Branch and District A is that while street cleaning and maintenance is an incredibly important component of our policy, I'm shocked still that we don't have a more aggressive street cleaning policy. I think it's a fact that the city of Houston does not own a street sweeper, but in my neighborhood, I know that we have engaged a contract with a street sweeping consulting company that is in the near-town area that picks up tons of garbage in the street at some cost to our management district. And I think that's truly improved the roadways and areas where we can ride, yet still, you know, we've had some of the most tragic events that you point to in recent weeks. So I'd like to look at that plan with you, again, as a practicing professional on these things, think about where we are with the state of the details and the complete streets. And just for what it's worth, I'd like to call your attention to my staff, 2 rows behind you. If you could get together with Mr. Goldberg there, I'd like to meet with you sometime soon and review our plan.
You mentioned critical mass. There's some internal plans inside of critical mass. There's internal plans to alleviate the biggest problem associated with mass, which is the traffic and blocking the intersection. We've had HPD helping us for some time. I'm very aware of what's going on there. We know we need to do more, and we're going to do more. We have a plan in place. We're going to try to put in place, and we'll see what happens after this month. I think everyone will hopefully be less, what's the correct word here? I want to say less upset, less seeing critical mass as a negative image versus a positive thing, which it really is.
Thank you.
There are a lot of productive discussions going on between the police department and critical mass. One of the issues is that critical mass is planned routes really without any consideration for the impact on traffic. And we have been working to optimize the routes, which is a good starting point. And Councilmember Gonzalez has been organizing a series of meetings around this issue. And Councilmember Robinson, before I forget, no, we don't own street sweepers. And it is just a matter of prioritization. If we want to invest in that as a city, the money comes out of something else.
Right. Well, let me say that I think the management district is doing a great service beyond that for the city, and it's showed great improvement. We still have plenty of room for improvement.
Councilor